Welcome to the world of classic American coins, where history, mystery, and hidden value come together. Today, we're stepping back in time to explore one of the most iconic coins ever struck by the United States Mint, the legendary Liberty Wheat Penny. This small copper coin may look ordinary at first glance, but behind its simple design lies a powerful story of America, collectors' passion, and life-changing discoveries. The Liberty Wheat Penny, first introduced in 1909, carries the proud image of Abraham Lincoln on the front, symbolizing freedom, unity, and strength. On the reverse, the two wheat stalks represent prosperity and growth, making this coin a true reflection of its era. For decades, these pennies passed quietly from hand to hand, never revealing the incredible secrets some of them hold today. The 1952 Liberty Wheat Penny is one of those coins that instantly triggers excitement, rumors, and dramatic stories among collectors, because it sits at the crossroads between everyday pocket change and legendary numismatic dreams. When people hear 1952 Wheat Penny, they imagine a humble 1-cent coin quietly hiding a life-changing secret. This is exactly why this coin continues to capture attention decades later. At first glance, it looks ordinary, but in the world of coin collecting, ordinary dates can sometimes become extraordinary under the right circumstances. It is important to understand the true nature of the 1952 Wheat Penny before the legends take over. This coin was struck in the final years of the wheat cent era, just before the Lincoln Memorial design replaced it in 1959. Coins from 1952 were produced at the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark and at the Denver Mint with a D mint mark. These pennies were made for circulation, meaning millions were produced and spent on everyday goods like bread, newspapers, and milk, completely unaware of the fascination they would spark generations later. Despite dramatic claims often repeated online, the 1952 Wheat Penny is not a silver coin. It is primarily composed of copper, and that fact alone separates reality from fantasy. However, the absence of silver does not mean the coin has no serious value. In numismatics, value is not only about metal content. It is about rarity, condition, errors, and historical significance. This is where the 1952 Wheat Penny begins to transform from common change into something far more intriguing. The real power of the 1952 Wheat Penny lies in condition. A heavily worn example might only be worth a small premium over face value, but a perfectly preserved coin is a completely different story. High-grade coins appear almost untouched, with sharp details, blazing original color, and no signs of circulation, can command strong prices. Collectors pay for beauty, originality, and survival, and very few 1952 pennies survived in truly pristine condition. Even more exciting is the possibility of rare minting errors. Coins struck off-center, with double details, repunched mint marks, or unusual planchet issues, can elevate a simple penny into a highly desirable collectible. Error coins are accidents frozen in time, and when they appear on a common date like 1952, they create an irresistible combination. One dramatic error can multiply a coin's value many times over, turning cents into hundreds or even thousands in collector demand. The Denver minted 1952 D Wheat Penny also carries its own mystique. Denver coins are often scrutinized closely for strike quality and subtle variations. Some examples show stronger details, while others reveal weaknesses that collectors love to study. This constant search of the perfect strike keeps interest alive and fuels the belief that the next extraordinary discovery could be hiding in an old jar, album, or inherited collection. Stories of unimaginable worth and overnight fortune changes often come from misunderstanding or exaggeration, but they serve an important role. They keep people looking. While no verified 1952 Wheat Penny has ever sold for millions, the dream itself has value. It pushes collectors to learn, to examine coins carefully, and to respect even the smallest denomination. In rare cases, exceptional condition or unique errors can indeed bring prices that shock those who once dismissed the coin as worthless. What truly makes the 1952 Wheat Penny powerful is its symbolism. It represents the idea that history can be held in your hand, that something overlooked can still matter, and that knowledge is what unlocks real value. People who rush to sell without understanding their coin often regret it later. The smart collector slows down, studies a coin, and seeks expert opinions before making any decision. If you believe you have a special 1952 Wheat Penny, The worst mistake you can make is spending it or selling it cheaply out of excitement or fear. Coins should be evaluated carefully, preferably by experienced collectors or professional graders. Condition, originality, and authenticity must all be confirmed before any serious value can be discussed. This step alone separates lucky finders from disappointed sellers. In the end, the 1952 Liberty Wheat Penny may not be a magical silver coin that guarantees instant billions, but it does hold the power to change how you see money, history, and patience. Its true fortune lies not only in price tags, but in the knowledge, discipline, and curiosity it inspires. For those who understand it, this humble cent becomes more than a coin. It becomes a reminder that sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest stories. The 1944 Liberty Wheat Penny is one of those coins that lives at the crossroads of history, mystery, and pure collector obsession, and that is exactly why it continues to ignite imaginations around the world. Born in the final, thunderous year of World War II, this humble 1-cent coin carries the emotional weight of a nation at war and the secrets of a mint working under extreme pressure. At first glance, it looks ordinary, but to serious collectors, the year 1944 on a wheat penny is a date that demands a second look, a careful weighing in the hand, and sometimes even a racing heartbeat. What makes the 1944 wheat penny so fascinating is not the common versions that millions of Americans once spent without a thought, but the rare and almost mythical mistakes that escaped the U.S. Mint. In 1944, pennies were supposed to be struck in copper again after the unusual steel cents of 1943. However, a tiny number of leftover steel blanks from the previous year are believed to have slipped back into the presses. When a 1944 penny was accidentally struck on steel instead of copper, a legend was born. These coins are not silver, but their bright, silvery appearance often leads people to mistake them for silver, adding to the mystery and excitement. Collectors dream especially of finding a 1944 wheat penny with a P, Philadelphia, with no mint mark, or a D, Denver, that shows that unmistakable steel color and magnetic reaction. These era coins are among the rarest Lincoln cents ever known, and their value does not come from metal alone, but from the sheer improbability of their existence. Imagine the chaos of wartime production, machines running day and night, and a single wrong blank surviving inspection and entering circulation. That single moment of human oversight is what gives this coin its breathtaking power today. The story becomes even more gripping when you realize that many of these coins were discovered by ordinary people, sometimes decades later, sitting quietly in jars, drawers, or inherited collections. One small cent, overlooked for years, suddenly revealed itself as something extraordinary. This is why collectors are always warned never to rush, never to clean, and never to sell such a coin in haste. The difference between a common penny and a life-changing treasure can be invisible to the untrained eye. Condition plays a massive role in the value of a 1944 wheat penny, especially the rare steel errors. A well-preserved example with sharp details, original surfaces, and no damage can ignite fierce competition among elite collectors. These coins are not just bought. They are chased, studied, certified, and guarded. When they appear at major auctions, they create waves across the numismatic world, reinforcing the idea that even the smallest denomination can command unbelievable respect and attention. The Denver-minted 1944 steel wheat penny is particularly legendary, as it combines a rare era with a mint that produced fewer coins overall. The Philadelphia version is also extraordinarily scarce, and both are considered crown jewels of Lincoln cent collecting. Their fame has grown so strong that they're often spoken about in almost mythical terms, as coins that can rewrite a family's financial story overnight if authenticated and preserved correctly. It is important to understand that most 1944 wheat pennies are copper and worth only modest amounts, but that truth is exactly what makes the rare one so electrifying. The possibility, however slim, that an ordinary-looking coin could be something extraordinary is what keeps collectors searching rolls, estates, and old collections even today. This hope, grounded in real historical mistakes, fuels the belief that fortune can still hide in plain sight. The emotional power of this coin goes beyond money. It represents survival, history, and the idea that value is not always obvious. A genuine rare 1944-era wheat penny is proof that history can leave behind tiny miracles, and that patience and knowledge can transform a simple cent into a symbol of destiny. That is why seasoned collectors urge caution and wisdom above all else when such a coin is suspected. If you ever believe you have a rare 1944 wheat penny, especially one with a silvery steel appearance from the P or D mint, the most important step is restraint. Do not clean it, do not polish it, and do not rush to sell it cheaply. Its true power lies in verification, preservation, and timing. In the right condition, authenticated by experts, this coin has the ability to change not just a collection, but a life. The legend of the 1944 Liberty Wheat Penny endures because it combines truth, rarity, and hope into a single copper-colored, or sometimes steel-gray, circle. It reminds the world that even the smallest coin can carry unimaginable potential. For collectors and dreamers alike, it stands as a powerful symbol that fortune does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it whispers from the palm of your hand. The 1956 Liberty Wheat Penny often travels through stories surrounded by thunder and lightning, whispered about as a coin that could flip destiny overnight. People imagine it as a forgotten copper miracle hiding in old jars, drawers, and inherited boxes, glow with the promise of unimaginable wealth. The truth, however, is far more fascinating than simple fantasy, because the real power of the 1956 wheat cent lies not in easy millions, but in how rarity, condition, and tiny minting accidents can transform an ordinary-looking coin into something deeply desirable for collectors around the world. To understand a 1956 wheat penny, you must first respect its place in American history. By 1956, the wheat cent design was nearing the end of its long life, soon to be replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Millions were struck that year, mainly at the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark, and at the Denver Mint marked with small d. These coins were made for daily use, passed from hand to hand, worn down by time, and rarely treated as treasures. That everyday role is exactly why pristine survivors now command attention. A powerful myth often claims that the 1956 wheat penny is a silver coin worth millions. In reality, it was struck in copper-based alloy, not silver, and the vast majority are worth only a modest amount today. But myths are born because collectors know one secret truth. Value is not about the year alone. It is about perfection, mistakes, and survival. A common coin in extraordinary condition can become uncommon, and an uncommon example can become legendary. What truly electrifies collectors is the possibility of rare errors. A 1956 wheat penny with a dramatic mint error, such as a strong double die, an off-center strike, or an incorrect metal planchet, can jump from pocket change into serious money territory. These coins are not valuable because of hype, but because they represent moments when the minting process slipped, creating something that was never supposed to exist. That kind of accident is where excitement is born. Condition is a silent king that rules value. A heavily worn 1956 penny tells a long story, but carries little market power. On the other hand, a sharply struck, blazing red example with full details and original luster can feel almost unreal, as if time forgot to touch it. Collectors fiercely compete for such pieces, and prices rise because top-quality coins are finite. Once they are locked into collections, they rarely return to the open market. Philadelphia and Denver Mint coins each have their own appeal. While neither mint produce extreme rarity in normal strikes, subtle differences in strike quality and preservation matter deeply to specialists. A Denver coin with crisp wheat lines and untouched surfaces can outshine dozens of dull examples. The value gap between an average coin and a top-tier specimen can be shocking, not because of magic, but because demand concentrates at the very top. Stories about becoming a billionaire overnight often exaggerate, but they reveal something important. People are drawn to hope and discovery. The real fortune in a 1956 wheat penny is not guaranteed wealth, but the possibility that careful inspection, patience, and knowledge could uncover something exceptional. Many legendary coins were once ignored, dismissed, or spent without a second glance. Smart collectors know never to clean or rush to sell such coins. Cleaning can destroy value instantly, turning a promising piece into a damaged one. Authentication and professional grading are what separate dreams from reality. When a coin is verified, sealed, and respected by the market, its true worth can finally be understood without illusion or regret. The 1956 wheat penny is not a shortcut to riches, but it is a doorway into the drama of numismatics. It teaches that history, condition, rarity, and chance work together to create value. While most examples will never be worth millions, a rare error or flawless survivor can still command serious money and lasting respect. In the end, the real power of the 1956 Liberty Wheat Penny is not that it guarantees fortune overnight, but that it reminds us treasure does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers from copper, waiting for someone curious enough to listen closely, look carefully, and understand that true value is born where knowledge meets patience. The 1957 Liberty Wheat Penny is one of those coins that sits quietly in pockets, drawers, and old jars, yet carries an aura of mystery that keeps collectors awake at night. At first glance, it looks simple, almost ordinary, but for those who truly understand old American coins, this 1-cent piece feels like a locked treasure chest. Struck during the final years of the wheat penny era, the 1957 issue represents the closing chapter of a design that had already become legendary. People talk about it in whispers, calling it a sleeping giant, a coin that may look small but holds stories of history, hope, and sudden fortune. Many dramatic stories claim that the 1957 wheat penny is a silver coin worth millions, but the real magic lies deeper than rumors. Officially, these coins were made of copper, not silver, yet the dream of a rare error keeps collectors searching. In the world of coins, mistakes are more powerful than perfection. A wrong metal planchet, a dramatic double strike, or a rare minting flaw can transform an ordinary cent into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. That is why people say, don't sell it quickly, because knowledge turns pennies into power. The Philadelphia Mint marked with no mint letter produced millions of 1957 wheat pennies. But quantity does not kill value when condition and rarity come into play. A perfectly preserved coin, glowing with its original red color, untouched by time, can be breathtakingly valuable to serious collectors. These are coins that never truly enter circulation, coins that escape wear, scratches, and neglect. When such a piece appears, collectors compete fiercely, and prices can rise dramatically, sometimes shocking those who once dismissed the coin as common. The Denver Mint, identified by the small d, adds another layer of excitement. Denver coins are often hunted carefully because certain minting characteristics make them desirable. Sharp details in Lincoln's portrait, strong wheat lines on the reverse, and flawless surfaces can elevate a Denver-minted 1957 penny into elite territory. In high grades, these coins are not just currency. They are museum-quality artifacts that carry prestige, pride, and serious money value. What truly fuels the dream of overnight fortune are error coins. Legends grow around stories of 1957 pennies struck on the wrong metal, off-center, or with double letters so bold they seem alive. While such errors are extremely rare, their existence keeps hope alive. One genuine major error can change everything for its owner. This is why experienced collectors warn against rushing to sell, because an untrained eye may miss the very detail that makes the coin extraordinary. Beyond money, the emotional power of the 1957 wheat penny is undeniable. It was minted in a time of global change, when America was stepping into a new era of technology and confidence. Holding this coin is like holding a moment frozen in metal. That emotional connection adds another invisible layer of value, especially for collectors who see coins as storytellers rather than objects. The market loves condition, and this is where fortunes are truly decided. A worn 1957 penny may be worth only a modest amount, but a flawless example could be worth hundreds or thousands, depending on demand. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is often just a few tiny marks. That is why experts stress patience, proper storage, and professional evaluation. Knowledge protects value, and ignorance destroys it. The internet is filled with exaggerated promises of millions and instant billions. But the real truth is more powerful and more respectful. Not every 1957 wheat penny will change a life, yet the right one absolutely can change a collector's world. True wealth in coins comes from rarity, condition, and authenticity, not hype alone. Those who understand this are the ones who succeed in the long run. For many people, the greatest mistake is selling too early, driven by excitement or fear. A coin passed down through family, stored carefully, and studied properly can surprise everyone years later. The 1957 wheat penny teaches patience, vision, and respect for history. It reminds us that value grows with time, wisdom, and restraint. In the end, the 1957 Liberty Wheat Penny is not just about money. It is about possibility. It symbolizes how something small can hold enormous potential. Whether it becomes a modest collectible or a headline-making discovery depends on details hidden to the untrained eye. That is why collectors say this coin has the power to change fortune overnight. Not by magic, but by knowledge meeting opportunity at exactly the right moment. The 1942 Liberty Wheat Penny carries a powerful story, but before diving into the excitement, it is important to understand one truth that actually makes this coin even more fascinating. The 1942 wheat cent was struck during World War II, a time when America was under pressure. Resources were scarce, and every metal mattered. These coins were not silver. They were made mainly of copper. Yet their historical energy, rarity in certain forms, and mint-condition survivors are what drive collectors into a frenzy today. The real fortune does not come from fantasy metal. It comes from history, condition, and rare errors that can transform a simple-looking penny into a treasure. In 1942, the United States Mint produced wheat pennies at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; and San Francisco, S. While millions were minted, the secret lies in how few have survived in perfect, untouched condition. Most 1942 pennies were heavily circulated during wartime, tossed into pockets, cash registers, and military bases. Finding one today that looks as if it just left the mint, sharp details, blazing original color, and zero wear is like discovering a time capsule seal for more than 80 years. The Philadelphia minted 1942 wheat penny may appear common at first glance, but in ultra-high grades it becomes a completely different beast. When a coin reaches the top condition levels, collectors are no longer buying copper. They are buying perfection. A flawless example can command astonishing prices because perfection cannot be recreated. Once a coin is worn, it is worn forever. That is why top-grade 1942 pennies ignite bidding wars, and why experienced collectors never underestimate a simple date. The Denver Mint version, marked with small d, adds another layer of excitement. Denver coins are often weaker in strike, meaning fewer were produced with razor-sharp wheat lines and Lincoln's crisp portrait. A fully struck 1942 D wheat penny with vibrant original color is incredibly difficult to find. This difficulty fuels desire, and desire fuels value. When collectors compete for one of these elite survivors, prices can rise dramatically, sometimes shocking those who believe pennies could never be powerful. What truly sends chills through the numismatic world are rare mint errors tied to 1942 wheat pennies. Off-metal strikes, dramatic die cracks, double details, or coins struck on the wrong planchet turn an ordinary cent into a legendary artifact. These are not everyday mistakes. They are accidents frozen in metal. When such a coin surfaces, collectors and auction houses treat it like buried treasure because no two errors are exactly alike. Another factor that elevates the 1942 wheat penny is its place in American history. This coin was born during a global war, when copper would soon be diverted for ammunition and military equipment. Just 1 year later, the famous steel cents appeared. That makes the 1942 penny part of the final chapter of traditional copper wartime coinage, a symbolic ending that collectors deeply respect and aggressively pursue. Many people dream of becoming rich overnight from a single coin, and while that dream should be approached with realism, there is no denying that a genuine high-grade or rare error 1942 wheat penny can be life-changing. The real danger is ignorance, selling a rare coin cheaply because it looks ordinary. History is full of stories where priceless coins were spent for face value simply because the owner did not recognize what they held. This is why professionals always warn: never clean, polish, or alter a wheat penny. Cleaning destroys originality, and originality is where the power lives. A coin untouched by human interference carries trust, and trust commands money. The surface, the color, and the microscopic details tell a story that trained eyes can read instantly. Once that story is damaged, the value collapses. The myth of overnight billionaire coin spreads fast, but the real magic of the 1942 wheat penny lies in knowledge. When knowledge meets patience, fortunes can change, not through fantasy, but through intelligent collecting. The collectors who win are the ones who study, protect, and authenticate their coins before making any move. In the end, the 1942 Liberty Wheat Penny is not just a 1-cent coin. It is a silent witness to war, sacrifice, and American resilience. In the right condition, with the right rarity, it becomes a symbol of hidden wealth and historical power. If you ever hold one, do not rush, do not assume, and never underestimate it. Sometimes, the smallest coin carries the loudest destiny.